Unbelievably, since you did ask, there are two answers to the questions. Some of these questions a viewer submitted. A set of questions. I was asked. You know, why do you care this much? And the answer. Another friend of mine submitted a different list of answers that kind of influenced mine. Which thank you, Robert. Desire for a better world for question C. You know, he did say for D. He basically joked, "I appoint thee bishop." He asked, E. Grammar. You are. He basically objected to your grammar by pointing out that it's you are. So y- like you're too educated for this. Nah, it's not right. It's Youre. With the you know. God, I don't remember. Are they? So you use that. God, yeah, I know that this. Yeah, the apostrophe. I was just making sure that I got it right. I hate this because I know the symbol itself, but I don't know necessarily what they're called sometimes. I lose track of minor details like that at times. That's why it took me a second to get there. But anyways, now that that's all out of the way, I can get to the point that I wanted to get to, with ultimately, rather than just having fun with this. Um, I did give you a rather deadpan response that I was educated into women's issues. Um, women's studies. I would say about this, I desire a better world than the one that we live in, and that's one of the reasons why I care as much as I do. I also have women in my life and that are part of my world, and I have an enduring interest in the opposite sex, and a desire for a sense of social connection with them, and intimacy, and the heartfelt approval of the opposite sex motivates me quite a bit. I, like every other male out there, cannot, ultimately come up here on this platform and pretend that I don't have an interest in getting laid at all. I would say that my as far as that issue is concerned, it's not something that I consider to be like conditional when it comes to relationships with them. It's not something I'm gonna rage at, if I take them on a date and, go out and do a few activities with them and they don't give me it. I don't feel entitled to it, just so you know. You asked me what I was educated into, though, and you asked me, you know, and I could only tell you women's studies, and so what I can tell you about that alarm bells did start going off in my head the moment I went there, which was, "Oh god, is he going to think that I literally decided to put the taxpayers in the position of, pouring money into my education and women's studies?" And I just wanted to comfort you there, by letting you know that I'm aware that if you want to know about women's issues, that there are not only cheap books that don't cost a lot of money, not and much cheaper than it would take to get 4 years of an education in that manner. And if you really are curious to just following, feminist groups on Facebook and going into observer mode, and what I mean is just watch, people watching mode will, over time accumulate quite a bit of knowledge. But I would say that also having inquiries of your own and doing research into them, you know and by research, I mean, these days I think that that term is often too loosely applied, to say the least. you have to do much more extensive research into things to truly research them than we do culture-wise, unfortunately. But I have had a very informal education into women's studies outside of academia, that was pursued at my own expense and out of my own sense of passion and concern for women's issues. I am individually interested in these topics, but I I feel like since they don't have a strong tendency to lead to a career at the end of the day, that foisting it on the American taxpayers would be kind of abusive towards the taxpayers, and so I have not done so.